Before I start this video, there's something I'd like to say. Anyone who knows this channel for a while also knows about Dragon Ball Hakai, which is one of the biggest Dragon Ball fan stories in the entire world. Producing Dragon Ball Hakai has been a dream for all of us here at the Hakai channel, especially because of you who really like our story. But unfortunately, Dragon Ball Hakai may end, and the reason for this is that although we love producing this story very much, the production costs are very high, and we are no longer able to sustain this cost alone. To continue with Dragon Ball Hakai, we need the support of those of you who love this story, and you can do it from a very small amount, like $5 a month, by helping the channel financially. In addition to helping continue Dragon Ball Hakai production, you'll have access to benefits that I'm sure you'll enjoy. So, check out our Patreon to find more. I'll leave a link in the description of this video. I'm not kidding, guys. Dragon Ball Hakai needs you to stay alive, so please help us if you can.
Episode 9. The end of Stage 2 arrives. Goku, Jiren, or Vegeta? Who will win? Floating on the waters of the Great Sea of Planet Arena, Goku faces his enemy, one of the three most powerful among the Daishinkan androids. He faces the powerful opponent with a calm and serene look. The android lunges at Goku to try to hit him, but the protagonist smoothly dodges the attack, then counterattacks with a not-so-smooth blow, which launches the android for many kilometers until he finally finds an island mountain. But the blow doesn't shake the machine, which returns to Goku flying quickly to try other blows, such as the protagonist dodges with very skillful movements and then counterattacks again, but this time with a sequence of blows that ends with an attack that launches the android into the sea. A few seconds later, energy attacks emerge from the sea towards Goku, who dodges them all. The android emerges soon after, flying to Goku's back to try another physical attack, but this time the Saiyan decided not to dodge, but to interrupt the attack by advancing against the enemy with a powerful flying kick that launches the android for many kilometers. The android slices through the sky until it finally stops flying over the sea to clash on land, where it falls buried on a beach. When the robot comes out of the sand, he sees that Goku is already there, facing him from the sky. The android again launches into the attack, attempting a strong punch which Goku smoothly parries by deflecting his arm with his hand. When he does this, Goku sees a gap to attack, and after quickly preparing a punch, he attacks. But to his surprise, a small dimensional portal appears right where he would land the blow. And then the same portal appears next to Goku's face, and his punch hits his own face. Surprised to receive his own attack, Goku is stunned and distracted, and this is the perfect opportunity for the enemy, who lands a heavy blow on him, knocking him away. Wiping the blood from his mouth, Goku smiles, realizing that even using Ultra Instinct, that fight wouldn't be so easy. In the middle of the desert, Vegeta faces his enemy. The Prince of the Saiyans is using his most powerful form, the Ultra Ego. With a proud smile on his face, Vegeta invites his enemy to attack him. The android does as Vegeta says, attacking him with a powerful punch. Such a punch that, despite clearly causing pain in Vegeta, the Saiyan didn't even try to defend. After receiving this attack, Vegeta counterattacks with an equally strong punch, which made the android recoil. Still smiling, he teases his enemy, asking if that was the best he could do. The android returns with another attack, also openly received by Vegeta, who counterattacks again, with an even stronger blow that again makes the enemy retreat. Vegeta again calls out to his enemy, opening his arms and ordering him to do his worst. The robot again obeys, this time charging at Vegeta with a combo of many attacks. Such attacks that Vegeta receives with open arms and motionless, despite clearly suffering for them. But in a moment, surprising the opponent, he stops one of the blows and counterattacks with an extremely powerful punch. A punch so strong that only the air current created by the impact causes several desert rocks around them to be destroyed. When Vegeta makes this attack, the android remains standing in front of him, retracted, as if defeated by the blow. Seeing his enemy motionless, with his body resting on his hand, Vegeta is a little disappointed, wondering if that was all he could offer. But then the warrior is surprised when the machine reacts again, grabbing his hand and landing another attack. But this time it's different. The android's attack is so strong that it causes a powerful impact wave to the point of opening a crater in the ground below them. And after receiving this blow, Vegeta vomits a large amount of blood while backing up with his hand over the attack site. He just can't understand what just happened. The attack he just received was ridiculously more powerful than the last ones the android hit. Vegeta wonders if the enemy has gotten stronger. But looking at him, he saw that the machine's score remained at 500,000, which means that he remains at the same power level. What happened then? There's a secret in this machine that he needs to find out. But despite being very confused and even a little worried, Vegeta smiles. At least, it looks like he's going to have a good fight in the end. Who faces the last among the most powerful androids is Jiren, who exchanges blows intensely with the enemy crossing the sky. Jiren lands a blow that stuns the android, and the mortal warrior takes this opportunity to charge at the machine, making many attacks, which causes the android to retreat as it tries to defend itself. But the robot manages to find a gap in Jiren's attacks and counters with a blow that leaves the mortal stunned. And now it's Jiren who retreats as the android charges forward. Jiren again manages to react and counterattack the enemy, who attacks at the same time, and both receive each other's blow and retreat. The moment they retreat, they concentrate energy in their hands and fire powerful attacks at each other. Attacks that collide and create a huge explosion. Looks like this fight will last a little longer. Under the sky of an immense open field, Gohan, Piccolo, and Broly face a powerful android, the same that defeated Kale, Kaba, and Caulifla, and that is worth 210,000 points. But there is a mystery behind this android, as when it started to face the 3 Saiyans of Universe 6, this machine was worth 105,000 points. Piccolo, Gohan, and Broly need to discover this enemy's secret, and they need to do it fast. Around them is a large army of lesser androids who are constantly trying to advance against the trio of Universe 7 warriors. But a pair of Universe 6 warriors, Hit and Frost, prevent this from happening. Hit and Frost circle the area where the 3 allies and the most powerful android are, and their goal is to keep the lesser androids from getting close. The two fight at high speed, going from enemy to enemy, not allowing them to go beyond the area they delimited. But the problem is that there are many enemies, and both are already very tired because of all the battles they had faced since the beginning of the tournament. As the 3 of them face the android, Piccolo tells Gohan and Broly that they must be quick to face their enemy. There's no telling how long Hit and Frost will take. Gohan agrees with Piccolo, but recalls the fact that this machine has some sort of secret. But if they attack recklessly, it could make things worse. Broly takes the android seriously. He doesn't like the fact that the robot hurt his companions at all. Before the 3 could come up with a satisfying strategy, the android decided he wasn't going to wait for them and went on the attack, charging towards the 3. Broly, concentrating his energy, advances against the opponent, and both clash their bodies with violence, initiating an exchange of blows soon after. Broly and the android exchange swift, intense blows across the sky, and despite it being a clearly difficult fight for both of them, Broly is taking a reasonable advantage. Seeing that he has an advantage against the Saiyans in the exchange of physical blows, the android decided to retreat, and while doing so, launched an energy attack at Broly, who countered the attack with a punch, launching the android's energy back. The android had to dodge his own energy, but when he did, he ended up distracting enough for Piccolo reaching out his arms to trap his body. As Piccolo limits the enemy's movement from a distance, Gohan appears behind him with a Kamehameha already prepared. At the same time, Broly, who was in front of him and also in the distance, prepares an energy attack. Broly and Gohan fire their attacks at the same time, hitting the android from front and back, causing a massive explosion. After this attack, Piccolo retracts his arms, which, having received the attack along with the android, lost part of its structure. But this is a problem that the Universe 7 warrior quickly solves with his regeneration ability. Gohan and Broly approach Piccolo. They wonder if they made it, but the answer is unfortunately no. They see that the android has his body intact. His natural armor looks even more fortified, and now the score he is worth is 250,000 points. This makes Gohan, Piccolo, and Broly very worried, mainly because they didn't understand what happened and why the android got stronger. In the safest place on the planet, where the spectators of the competition, all on 4 floating platforms, and in the center of these platforms was a large crystal ball where the competition was displayed. One of these platforms housed all the tournament participants who were eliminated in the first stage. These participants watched the fights taking place in complete shock, most grateful that they didn't go to the second stage and didn't have to face so many difficulties. On another platform were Likir, Arak, Jin, and Iwan, the 4 gods of destruction who are classified for the next stage. The gods look at everything that happened with great focus, carefully observing the power level of those who will soon be their adversaries. Iwan, the god of destruction of the first universe, looks on with great admiration, praising the participants who are doing their best to win. And even though they are just mortals, they are very impressed to all of them. Iwan is rooting for these worthy warriors to win. Arak, the god of destruction of the 5th universe, has a different opinion than Iwan, and watches everything with concern. The power of some of those mortals is impressive, and the destroyer fears he will have a hard time against some of them. Arak is rooting for the participants to finish this second stage with as many injuries as possible, to make easy his victory over them later. Likir, Universe 8's god of destruction, watches the competition with an analytical eye, focusing on the strengths and weaknesses of the participants, in order to create the best possible strategies to deal with all of them in the near future. For Lekir, the worse things are for the participants, the better. Of them all, Jin is arguably the most unconcerned about what's going on. The 12th universe's god of destruction has complete confidence in his abilities, and for him, it doesn't matter whether mortals do well or not in the second stage. He will simply destroy his enemies. On the third platform are the other deities watching the tournament. The 12 angels, 12 supreme kais, and 8 gods of destruction who will not participate in the competition. Between them, Beerus carefully observes everything that happens. Besides him are Whis and Shin. Shin, impressed by what he sees, comments on how powerful the mortals of this universe have become. Beerus, with an admiring smile on his face, has to admit he's also impressed by everything he's seen. All Universe 7 participants are representing all of them very well. Champa approaches along with Vados and Fuwa, commenting that he also has to admit that he's proud of the participants from his universe. Even Kaba, Kale, and Caulifla, who were defeated, fought very well until the end. But despite being pleased with his team, Beerus comments on the fact that they are in a very difficult situation, and wonders if they will be able to stand until the end. On the last platform, the Zenos, the bodyguards, and Daishinken were watching carefully everything that happened. The Zenos were completely focused in what they saw, watching in amazement at each combat, checking the time on an hourglass that he just made appear with his magic. Daishinken warns that the time for the second stage of the tournament is running out. Now there is just under 5 minutes left to run out. The Zenos are very sad to hear this and wonder if with just this time, the participants will be able to finish these difficult fights they started. It would be really sad if time ran out, and Goku couldn't finish the fight against the android he's facing. Broly, Piccolo, and Gohan are standing side by side, doing their fighting stances, all with a tense expression. The reason for their tension is that android tearing the sky toward them, flying with great speed and power. Broly decides to go against the enemy, leaving the 2 others behind. Man and machine collide their bodies, both stopping each other but maintaining a strength struggle, where one tries to push the other. Piccolo and Gohan fly onto the android's back, and taking advantage of the machine's hands being busy in the power struggle with Broly, they fire an energy attack toward the robot's back. But the android makes 2 cannons appear on its back, and from each cannon fires an energy attack, which collide with Gohan and Piccolo's attacks and causes both to explode. When the android makes 2 more cannons appear on their chest and fires 2 point-blank shots that explode in Broly's body, pushing him away. After pushing Broly away, the android notices Gohan and Piccolo approaching from his back to attempt physical attacks, and makes the 2 cannons that were on his chest appear on his back, totaling 4 cannons on his back. He fires from all 4 weapons, 2 shots on each mortal. Gohan and Piccolo are forced to stop their advance while dodging the shots, but that's not enough, as they are chased by the attacks and have to start running away. Broly returns to the android to begin an exchange of blows, and they engage in a series of super fast, powerful punches. Gohan and Piccolo fly through the sky, dodging the android's energy blasts, which chase them like heat-sensing missiles. But having an idea, the 2 fly towards each other as if they were going to collide their bodies. But when they're very close to colliding, they maneuver in mid-air to change direction, escaping in a way that their bodies don't collide, and the attacks chasing them hit each other and self-destruct. Broly is in a well-balanced blows contest with the android when, at one point, he would land a hard punch on the enemy, but the android blocks the Saiyan's punch by creating a large shield on his arm, surprising Broly. But he surprises the Saiyan even more when he makes a cannon appear on this shield, and hits a point-blank shot in the face of a man who falls from the sky stunned. In the next moment, he already has to turn around to block the attacks of Gohan and Piccolo with his shield, who came from behind to try many blows, which are all blocked by the android shield. After parrying many hits, the android goes on the offensive, landing a blow that knocks Gohan away, and then lands a blow that knocks Piccolo away. After rushing Piccolo away, he points his hand at the Namekian, who is already far away, and shoots a kind of hook attached to a rope from his hand. This hook hits Piccolo's chest and crosses to his back, opening in a way that attaches to his body. When this happens, the android moves its arm in a way that charges Piccolo with the rope and launches him at Gohan, who is already returning to attack. Their bodies collide and are thrown from the sky to the ground of the field. After doing this, the android gets rid of the rope that was attached to its arm, and also undoes the shield, and then points its fingers in the direction of the 2 and fires something familiar to small energy missiles from each finger. Gohan and Piccolo are recovering from the last attack when they see the small missiles approaching. In the next second, the multiple explosions can be seen from the sky, which take up a considerable part of that region. Broly comes flying furiously towards the android, and when the machine turns around, it receives a powerful punch from the Saiyan right in the middle of the chest, having its structure cracked with the attack, as it is knocked away by the force of the blow. But the next moment, the crack in the android's body is repaired, and the robot's body armor appears to grow even more robust. At the same moment as this happens, Broly sees the android's score changing in his view, and the enemy that was previously worth 250,000 points is now worth 260,000 points. The android makes a kind of turbo appear at its feet, and turns on this turbo going towards Broly as if it were a rocket, hitting the man's body with force while carrying him through the sky. Gohan and Piccolo emerge from the rubble of the destroyed region of the field where the explosions just happened. Both are injured after that attack, but Piccolo is reasonably well, while Gohan is clearly worse. Worried, Piccolo asks if Gohan is okay. Even though he was in orange form, he felt that attack, and in that form he is considerably more powerful than Gohan in his current form. Gohan says he's all well as he can be, but he won't be able to withstand as many attacks from this enemy anymore. They see the android carrying Broly through the sky while landing many hits on the same. The updated android number already appears for them. Gohan comments, "Damn, this guy has increased his power again. I could barely withstand his attacks before. I think I have to use that form this time." But Piccolo disagrees. "Don't do that, Gohan. You still have a hard time controlling your energy expenditure while using that form. If you use it in this fight, it is possible that it will affect your performance in the next stage." Gohan replies, "But Sir Piccolo, if I get hurt too much now, I won't be able to fight in the next stage either. I think it's better for me to fight tired than with my body completely broken." Piccolo argues, "Take a good look at the timer that appears in your vision. There are only 2 minutes left to run out. All we need to do is to hold out for a little longer. If we hold out, everything is gonna be fine." But then Gohan asks Frost and Hit, will they resist? Concerned, they look to Hit and Frost, who face a great army of enemies around them, with the aim of not allowing these enemies to advance to get in the way of their fight. Hit flies into a group of androids, and when he's about to crash into the enemies, he uses the time skip. And while one moment he's about to collide with the robots, the next moment he's already behind the machines, which explodes. But Hit doesn't have time to rest, being immediately surrounded by more enemies, all of whom attack the assassin at the same time. Hit dodges enemy attacks and then destroys each one with his blows. But again, he doesn't have time to rest, and he has to dodge several energy shots made at him, being hurt by one of them. Tensely, Hit thinks as he looks at the wound he just received, "Damn it, I'm so tired that even these bastards became a challenge to me." Frost trades blows against a group of enemies surrounding him. He destroys one of them with one blow, but is then hit by another. He destroys what hit him with an energy laser from his finger, but is hit by another robot's blow. He destroys the third opponent with a laser that launches from his eyes, but is targeted by several key balls from surrounding enemies. Watching what happens to the two companions, Piccolo and Gohan are getting worried, especially about Frost. Gohan wonders if they will be able to resist without their help. Piccolo says that they must rely on the strength of their teammates. They will resist until the end. Something alarms them both. It's Broly, who falls from the sky towards them. Gohan and Piccolo have to fly away from there so that Broly's fall doesn't hurt them too. When Broly falls, that entire area is destroyed by the violence of the impact. When Gohan and Piccolo look at the android again, they see that the machine is now worth 280,000 points, and his body armor is also a little bigger, and apparently stronger. Gohan is very angry by that. How did this bastard manage to increase his power again? Broly, already recovered and floating up from the ground to stop beside them, explains that every time he lands a blow hard enough to crack the android's body structure, he regenerates, and becomes even stronger and tougher. Piccolo understands what's happening. This android's body adapts after taking a lot of damage, but at the time of regeneration, it becomes more resistant to damage. Gohan says the only way to deal with it is to hit an attack so powerful that it destroys the android before it has time to regenerate. Broly says that in his current form he doesn't have enough power to do that, as the enemy is already too powerful. He has one last transformation that makes him much more powerful, but he has not yet learned how to control this power well, and fears losing control if he resorts to his last form. Piccolo says this doesn't require any of them to use more power. All they need to do is resist combat for the remaining 2 minutes and try not to take too much damage. If they do, they'll be fine. The android flies towards them at full speed and power. Clearly, the robot understands that time is running out and does not intend to take it easy on them. Gohan, Piccolo, and Broly disperse, each flying to one side to escape the enemy, but the android won't let them escape like that. And when they disperse, the machine stops and throws its hands towards Gohan and Piccolo, and the machine uses Gohan and Piccolo's bodies to hit Broly, who's crushed by the bodies of the two companions. It seems that even if it's only for 2 minutes, resisting will be very difficult for them. From space, it can be seen two beams of light surrounding Planet Arena at high speed, and many times these two beams of light collide, also leaving many impact waves throughout the immense territory. It is Vegeta and the android he faces, who tear through the sky at great speed while exchanging countless blows. In one moment, Vegeta hits a punch so strong that it launches the android very far, causing the robot to travel for many kilometers through the sky until it falls in the middle of the frozen zone, colliding with an immense glacier. The power of the impact is so great that even the small body is capable of shattering the gigantic chunk of ice. Vegeta comes from the sky at high speed, thirsty for more battle. The android responds, flying out of the ice debris as if nothing had happened. The machine that comes from the ground and the man that comes from the sky collide their bodies in a collision so violent that only the impact wave caused by the shock shatters several glaciers around. After the shock, Vegeta and the android stop each other. However, the machine surprises the Saiyan by applying an extremely strong punch to him. A punch that even Vegeta blocked with his arms, makes his whole body vibrate and launches him very far from there. Vegeta crosses all the frozen region, going to another region of the planet and falling into a forest zone, where he destroys dozens of hundreds of trees in his fall. When he finally lands on the ground, Vegeta vomits a large amount of blood, a result of the much internal damage that the attack had caused him. Vegeta knows that somehow that android is able to suddenly perform extremely stronger attacks than usual, and he has this sudden increase in strength without increasing his score. That is, without increasing his base power. But what he doesn't know is how the stupid robot does that. Seeing the android flying towards him, Vegeta launches a Gallic gun at him. Seeing that attack coming towards it, the robot stops the flight and crosses its arms in front of its body to receive the attack from the front. And so it does. After resisting Vegeta's Gallic gun, the android extends a hand towards him and fires a gigantic energy wave, an attack so massive that it scares Vegeta. The Saiyan needs to run away to avoid being hit, and when the energy wave hits the ground, it causes a massive explosion, so big that it completely engulfs that huge forest. When the explosion ends, all that can be seen is just a large crater, where the forest used to be. Vegeta appears behind the android, more injured than he was before, as despite having escaped the focus of the explosion, he was still partially hit. As he faces the enemy, he thinks, "Damn it, what's going on?" Suddenly, this bastard increases the power of his attack a lot, and he does it with both physical attacks and energy attacks. I need to find out the secret of this thing. But Vegeta looks into his vision at the timer, which indicates that there are now only 1 minute and 30 seconds left in that stage. Seeing this, the Saiyan gets angry. Vegeta says, "Damn, but how am I going to do this in such a short time?" Goku also faces his enemy. They fly above the sea while exchanging intense blows. The android tries a sequence of blows at Goku, who dodges it using Ultra Instinct's great dodging ability. And then, dodging one of the robot's attacks to the robot's back with an acrobatic move, Goku attempts to punch behind the opponent's head. But a small portal opens between them, and Goku's punch enters the portal and exits into a second portal that opens next to his face. In order not to be hit by his own attack, Goku needs to dodge. But when he gets distracted to dodge his own punch, the android lands a strong blow on him, which launches the man very far, causing him to travel a great distance above the sea and find solid land to crash on the ground. The android follows Goku, and as the Saiyan falls, fires a large energy attack at him that destroys a large part of that region. But Goku dodges the attack with an instant transmission, appearing behind the android, some distance away, and firing an energy attack at him. But the android opens a portal on its back, causing Goku's attack to enter through the portal and out through another that is open next to him, which narrowly manages to dodge his own energy attack. Meanwhile, the android opens several small portals around him and starts to make several blows against these portals. Goku is also surrounded by small portals, from which the machine's attacks come out, which he has to defend. While fending off the android's numerous attacks coming from all sides through the portals, Goku gets very angry, saying that he is a very annoying robot. Looking at the timer that appears in his vision, he sees that there is only 1 minute and 15 seconds left in the second stage. He needs to find a way to deal with this enemy, and he needs to do it fast. Jiren and the others among the most powerful androids have a contest of strength in the sky, with their fingers intertwined, one trying to push the other, but no one can. The android headbutts Jiren, who retaliates shortly after receiving it. Then Jiren decides to attack first, meeting the enemy, who retaliates the next moment. Finally, the android launches a huge wave of energy from its eyes, which carries Jiren to a great distance until he crashes into a mountain. But Jiren doesn't let himself be shaken, leaving in the middle of the rocks and returning to his enemy with a punch that also throws him away, making the machine cross a mountain and only later manage to stop its movement in the sky. When the android stops, it starts accumulating energy in its hands. Jiren does the same. The two launch large waves of energy which meet on the mountain that the android has just passed through. The attacks destroy the mountain, creating a gigantic explosion. Jiren is about to continue the fight when he finds himself surrounded by weaker androids. Looking at the timer in his vision, he sees that there's only 1 minute left for the game to end, and he gets very annoyed as he doesn't have time to deal with the most powerful enemy and worry about the weakest at the same time. But then Toppo and Dispo come to him. Both are very injured and tired, indicating they have faced many battles so far. Jiren asks what they're doing here. Toppo says that they came to help. He and Dispo will deal with the weakest robots, while he only focuses on the most powerful. Jiren lets out a discreet smile, then says he's counting on them. Jiren flies towards the strongest android, while Toppo and Dispo fly towards the enemies around them. In the spectators area, everyone watches very tensely, anxious to know the final result of the second stage of the tournament, which will take place in 1 minute. In the area where the spectator gods are, Beerus and Champa cheer for the participants of Universe 6 and 7, who forms Team 4. Beerus focuses his attention mainly on the fights of Goku, Vegeta, Gohan, Piccolo, and Broly, who face very powerful enemies. Champa focuses on Frost and Hit, who fight against an army of androids to help Gohan, Piccolo, and Broly. Belmont, who is not that far from them, is rooting for Jiren, Toppo, and Dispo, obviously. On the main platform, the Zenos watch everything very apprehensively. Time is running out, and Goku's fight is not over yet. Curious, the Zenos ask Daishinkan who will have the highest score at the end of the stage. Upon receiving this question, the Grand Priest uses his magic to create a hologram showing a list of the 3 highest scores. While showing the list, he explains, "At this point, the dispute for the most points is limited to 3 participants. Jiren from Universe 11, and Son Goku and Vegeta from Universe 7. The 4th person with the most points probably won't be able to approach them in such a short time, so we can drop that person out of this conversation." Well, in 3rd place is Vegeta with 1,100,500 points. In the 2nd place is Son Goku with 1,110,400 points. And in 1st place is Jiren with 1,120,900 points. Although Jiren's score distance to Goku and Vegeta is not that small, they all face off against androids that are worth a bigger score of 500,000 points. This means that if Goku or Vegeta defeat the androids they are fighting, they can take 1st place. And also if Jiren beats his opponent, he will open up a big advantage in the 1st position. In short, if Vegeta beats his enemy and Goku and Jiren don't, Vegeta will be the 1st place. If Goku wins and Jiren doesn't, Goku will be the 1st place. And if Jiren wins, he will surely be the 1st place regardless of whether Goku and Vegeta win or not. The Zenos listened attentively to the Daishinkan's explanation. After hearing everything and understanding the situation, they hope that Goku can defeat his enemy. Daishinkan says that unfortunately, time is not on Goku's favor, nor on any of them, as there are only 40 seconds left for the 2nd stage to end. Broly fights the android across the sky and has a clear disadvantage against the robots, as he can't do much more than block the opponent's many attacks while retreating. But Gohan appears behind Broly preparing a Kamehameha while ordering his companion to leave. Broly does as Gohan says, stepping out of the way of the android, who is hit directly by the Earthling Saiyan's Kamehameha, but the android is completely unharmed after Gohan's attack, who is grabbed by the opponent by the hair and thrown at Broly, who was returning to help him. Piccolo takes this opportunity to get behind the android and grab it. Smiling, Piccolo says that as strong as the android is, he can hold it for a few seconds. But he realizes that he is wrong when the android makes several objects similar to metal spikes appear on his back, which pierces Piccolo's entire body. After receiving these multiple punctures, Piccolo unleashes the enemy and falls from the sky with his body as punctured as a sieve. Worried, Gohan yells for Piccolo, but this distraction is enough for the android to reach and hit him with a strong flying kick to the face. And after doing that, he attacks Broly, hitting him hard in the stomach. In pain after receiving the attack, Broly can only hope for this time to run out faster. Nearby, Frost has just destroyed an android with one blow, only to receive multiple energy blasts from a group of androids surrounding him. Very angry, he counterattacks by shooting several energy lasers in all sides and destroying all enemies. Looking up, Frost sees a group of androids lined up, and they all fire waves of energy at the same time that become one very large attack. Frost also fires a wave of energy while switching to his 100% form, getting his energy wave to be just as strong as the android's energy wave and maintaining a fair contest. But in a few seconds, Frost loses his form 100%, returning to his normal form. Immediately, the energy wave from the androids towered over him, hitting the Universe 6 warrior and hurling him toward the ground, causing a massive explosion on impact. Lying on the ground very wounded, Frost watches the enemies coming from the sky toward him to attack with everything they have. But in the next moment, they are all destroyed just when they were close to reaching him. Frost is confused, wondering what happened. Only a second later, he sees Hit standing next to him. The White Warrior says as he gets up, "I don't remember asking for your help." Hit responds, "No need to ask. The situation you were in was revealing enough. Already on his feet with a faint smile on his face, Frost says, "Well, since there's so little time left, I won't object to a little help in these final moments." Seeing a large number of enemies descending from the sky toward them, the two take up their fighting stances. Toppo and Dispo are back-to-back surrounded by a group of androids. Toppo shoots enemies on his side with his Justice Flash, while Dispo shoots multiple energy balls. From both sides, many enemies are destroyed. Dispo is very tired and complains about it to Toppo, saying he can barely keep his arms up. The Pride Troopers leader encourages his brother-in-arms not to be discouraged. Now there are only 30 seconds left in this stage. They only have to endure it for just 30 seconds. Nearby, an exchange of powerful blows takes place between Jiren and the strongest android. Blows so strong that only the clash of their fists creates large electrical bolts that spread around. Jiren is hit in the face by an enemy punch that makes him bleed, but immediately retaliates with a punch that cracks his opponent's face a little. Realizing that the machine's body was finally starting to give in to his strength, the Universe 11's warrior steps forward for an even more violent offensive, landing many punches at the robot, which began to crack its body. Seeing that he has finally stunned his opponent, Jiren prepares his final punch, which would definitely define the fight. But before attacking, he is knocked back by a wave of energy fired by the android. With a lot of force, Jiren manages to stop the displacement caused by the force of the energy wave instead of being pushed away by the attack. He advances against it, overcoming the android's energy, and he gets closer and closer. While using all his strength to advance against his enemy, Jiren says, "I'll make it. I will destroy you." Goku also has a tough fight, fighting the android with his fastest and strongest punches, putting pressure on the enemy. But when Goku tries a stronger attack, as is happening every time, the robot creates a dimensional portal in front of the blow that transports Goku's attack back to him. And again, the protagonist needs to dodge his own attack. After that, the android creates several other portals around himself, and makes several blows against these portals, which open around Goku and punish the protagonist with many blows from all sides. But Goku, smiling, says he won't fall for the same trick every time. Then the protagonist holds the android's hand after exiting another one of the portals, and when he does, Goku pulls his hand hard, causing the android's entire body to exit through the portal. Goku delivers a strong punch to the machine's face, which launches the robot back into the portal where Goku pulled it from, and therefore the same portal through which is initially punched. After doing so, Goku takes advantage of the enemy's stun to teleport him to his back and land a strong kick to the enemy's back, which sends him flying. After knocking away the enemy with his blow, Goku launches a large Kamehameha at him. The android quickly stops to create a portal in front of him to transport the Kamehameha, but Goku, already expecting this, controls the flow of energy, causing the attack to dodge the portal and continue towards the android. After doing this, Goku teleports himself onto the robot's back, and before the machine could think of another way to deal with the energy coming from its front, Goku appears on its back, hitting it with a kick that sends it crashing into the Kamehameha, which hits the android, causing a huge explosion. After receiving that attack, the android has its body structure cracked. Seeing this, Goku smiles, and looking at the timer in his vision, he sees that there are just 10 seconds left for a time to run out. The Saiyan says to himself, "I'll make it. I will be the best." Vegeta gives his all fighting the android. Their blows are so powerful that they destroy the entire forest below them. Vegeta fights his opponent, trying to figure out the key to his strange ability to suddenly increase his strength without increasing his power. But the Saiyan is still unsuccessful in his analysis. Vegeta is hit by a blow from the android and retaliates with another blow, only to be counterattacked with a much stronger blow that knocks him away. After pushing Vegeta away, the android launches an energy attack that the Saiyan receives head-on. And after resisting the attack, Vegeta also responds with an energy attack, which the android also receives from the front, to then launch another, much more powerful attack. From the last attack, Vegeta dodges. After doing so, he smiles. He has finally discovered the secret of the android's ability. Vegeta reveals to his enemy what he has discovered. Vegeta says, "Damn it. It took a while, but I discovered the secret to your ability. The reason you can suddenly make more powerful counterattacks, even without increasing your power level, is that you use the force of your own attack for that, don't you? Every time I attack you, you get that attack and immediately transfer the energy used in my last hit to your next attack. That's why after being hit or defending an attack from me, you immediately make a much more powerful attack. It's because you're using part of my energy that passes through your body and joins this energy to yours." With an expression of animation, Vegeta states with conviction, "Now that I know the key to your ability, I'm definitely going to win this fight." But then the Prince of the Saiyans' hopeful and happy smile fades when he, but not only him, all those on Planet Arena hear the sound of what appears to be a trumpet. In the next moment, They all hear the Daishinkan's voice warning them that time has come to an end. The second stage of the Tournament of Power is over. Vegeta looks at the android in front of him. He sees that the machine is completely stopped, as if it just stopped working. He doesn't mask his frustrated expression. He just can't believe it. Goku, who was about to land a blow on his opponent, who is now also completely still, looks up to the sky with an expression of pure frustration. Jiren, also very close to hitting his enemy, when he froze his movement while looking up at the sky in disbelief. The android in front of Jiren had both hands extended towards him, which evidenced that Jiren was almost getting to the end of the machine's energy attack to attack it, meaning he put in a lot of effort and was about to hit a target with a definitive attack. Universe 11's mightiest warrior lowers his head, completely frustrated. Dispo and Toppo were surrounded by enemies when the news arrived, and both are happy with that news. Despite looking at Jiren with a sad expression, they wish their companion had managed to finish his fight. Who was also happy that it was all over were Hit and Frost, who were on the ground surrounded by enemies, and with a great tired expression. Not far from them, Gohan and Broly and Piccolo also had a big smile of relief on their faces, and not far from them was the android they were facing, which stopped its movement just as it was apparently going to fire an energy attack at them. Piccolo smiles in relief as he says, "Saved by the gong." Gohan falls to the ground exhausted. "Man, I can't believe we actually did it." Broly smiles, and even though he doesn't say anything, it's clear he's just as happy and relieved as the other two. At the spectators' place, more specifically on the platform where the non-participating gods are, Beerus and Champa sigh in relief. Beerus says that he would like to see the end of Goku and Vegeta's fight. It was fun, but knowing that they held out until the end is good enough. Champa agrees. Belmont is sad for Jiren. It's really sad that he tried so hard and couldn't finish the fight, but at the same time Toppo and Dispo were on edge, so he's grateful and relieved by this ending. On the main platform, the Zenos have an expression of extreme dissatisfaction. They would really like to see the end of it all. It's really a shame that time is up. Goku is standing with his head down when he suddenly lifts his face towards the sky while yelling, Lord Zeno, you can hear me, right?" Goku's scream is indeed heard by the Zenos, who immediately take notice. Goku continues, "Lord Zeno, a while ago you guys suddenly changed one of the main rules of this stage, right? And the reason this was done is that you weren't liking the way things were going. But I need to ask, are you happy with what you're seeing now?" When Goku asked this question, the Zenos made an expression of great surprise, indicating they were affected by his words. Beerus, also hearing this, just like all the gods, are very scared. "Damn it, Goku, what are you doing?" Goku continues, "I'm sure you guys want to see the end of the fight, don't you? So please change the rules one more time. Give us 1 minute. 1 minute is enough to get to the end." When Goku asks for that, Champa gets extremely angry and complains to Beerus. "Hey, Beerus, what's that idiot doing? Does he want to kill everyone?" Beerus, equally angry, responds, "And you think I have any control over this idiot?" After listening carefully to Goku's words, the Zenos smile. Then they reveal their newest decision to Daishinkan. The second stage time should be extended by 1 minute. Hearing the order of the Supreme Gods, with a sympathetic smile, Daishinkan announces, "Attention all participants! By a personal request of the participant Son Goku to the Supreme Gods, there will be an extension at this stage. You will have 1 more minute of competition." Most of the participants present at Planet Arena, hearing the news, are extremely shocked and angry, cursing Goku in their minds. The android that is in front of Gohan, Broly, and Piccolo starts to act again, and his hands that was extended towards them starts to accumulate energy. Frightened, the three immediately escape from there, leaving the next attack to destroy a large part of the ground they were standing on. The androids surrounding Hit and Frost suddenly come to life again and fire many attacks at them at once, blasting the two Universe 6 mortals with multiple explosions. Toppo and Dispo also need to react and defend themselves when the androids surrounding them attack, but not everyone hates this decision, made by the Zenos at the request of Goku. Jiren sees the android that was before him come to life again, and smiling at the enemy says that he won't waste that minute that Son Goku got. Vegeta also smiles as he sees his opponent start to act again. Closing his eyes, the Prince of the Saiyans in his mind thanks his rival. He won't waste this chance. He's sure to win, and he'll be the one who gets the most points. When he sees that his enemy is started to move again, Goku smiles as he looks up to the sky and thanks the Zenos, assuring them that they won't regret giving him this chance. After saying that, Goku flies towards his enemy to start the final phase of his last fight at this stage of the tournament. At Goku's request, the Zenos ordered that 1 more minute of fighting be given to the participants at Planet Arena. This decision displeased many, but pleased some, who are precisely the 3 who fight for the position of winner of the points dispute. Now the second stage is literally 1 minute to end. Who will be the participant who will earn more points? Jiren, Goku, or Vegeta? And how about the other participants? Will they stand till the end? And what will be the third stage of the tournament that will soon begin? Find out in the next episodes of Dragon Ball Super 2, the new Tournament of Power.